Okay, a very good morning. Okay. I'm not too sure how many participants I expect from. Okay. Uh, Dr. Gita. Dr. Gita, are you here? Yeah, just want to check previous acid training, right? Normally, how many participants you all have for the previous session?
Five or five or so, I'm not sure. Yeah,
So
about four or
it's
five. Yeah,
about 4 or 5. All right. Okay.
yeah.
I think since it's already 9:06, I will just start. All right. Okay. After all, the session is recorded. Okay, so that you all don't have to be stuck at here for so long. All right. Okay, let me just share my screen. Okay. So now, for today's session, right? Okay, this is part of the new staff induction program. Okay, so I will be the one that talk about the research. Okay, so I'm Jasmine from Postgraduate and Research Center. Okay, so now basically for today, right? The purpose of this, I would not want to say that it's training because I'm not here to train you how to do research. Okay, uh basically for today's session is that right, it's more like a sessions, okay, to just share some of those information about the university research directions, our aims, okay, what our support we actually provide, and then the strategy, and then what are the future directions. Okay, so these are the things that we actually I actually will share. All right, so it's not about a training to train how you actually need to how you actually can conduct research. Okay, that is not the purpose for today's training. Okay, so like I say, okay, so basically, right, I will just briefly go through some of these. Okay, what is it so important to do research at UOW Malaysia, and what is our research aim, and then the future directions, and then what we had achieved in the past, support and resources that we actually give to the staff, and then the research strategy, and then the conclusion, and also we will open out the floor for Q&A. All right. So now, I believe that, right, for every university, right, okay, this is basically based on the changing landscape, okay, with all those QS ranking, all those STARA ranking, regardless international or the national ranking. So that's why the research has become some key, how to say that, the key KPI. Most of the researcher, right, they need, most of the researcher, the academic staff, need to go after, all right? It's always part in their KPI. So that's why, right, we need to know why the research, right? Why research is actually put into the staff KPI. It's because it's actually part of the university's strategic plans. Okay, so let's look at why is it so important, the research at UOW Malaysia. Of course, why we want to do research. Okay, basically the research, right? I think most of you know that research, this word, right, is come from the word research. You search again. Why you search again? You do your search again, all right? So why you do the search again is basically you want to advance the new knowledge. You want to get something new, okay? So basically, is to push beyond the boundary of the understanding. You get something new, okay? So you bring out the new discovery, the new theory, the new knowledge, the new innovation. Okay, so that is something that why we need to do research. And another one is to attract funding. Okay, basically, university will always encourage the staff, right, to attract the external funding. Okay, either from government. So every year, our government, right, okay, actually provide a number of those funding opportunity like FRGS, PRGS, okay. This year they start to open out for the private institution to have this social innovation development and social research grant, okay? So there are a number of those funding opportunity that is provided by the government, by the industry, okay? But for industry aspect, right, normally they will have certain objective in their mind. Like for example, the industry will come to approach the university saying that helping the company to actually to improve on their productivity, their efficiency, they want a new innovation. So now, why is it funding is so important to the university? Is basically every funding that attract, okay, resulting from the research is basically bringing income to the institution. All right. The next one is to promote the industry collaboration. Now, a lot of the time, I think some of you also read from the news that, right, you always can see that there are people criticize on the university, all right, say that the university is actually produce something that, right, or is actually doing that they are not connect with the industry, whereby, right, the graduates that university produce, right, is actually not fulfill or not meeting the industry requirement, okay? So that's why one of the way we actually can connect with the industry is actually through research activity, okay? Through research activity, then we actually have the collaboration with the industry, so we know what exactly they want, okay? So this one basically at least the university, when they through the research, they do something that is needed by in the industry. Instead of doing something that, right, you produce something that which is not realistic, okay, which is not realistic, it's not something that industry want, okay? So at least through research, we actually can collaborate with the industry, that we have better knowledge of what industry want, okay? Now, of course, this one basically this day is most of the university they actually go after with, okay, the global reputation, okay? Every university want to go after the QS ranking, go after the Times University ranking, okay? So major weightage, right, is actually come from the research activity, all right? It's come from the research activity. Even every year, right, in Malaysia system, right, we actually have this MIRA system, okay? The MIRA system, right, big portion will contribute to the STARA ranking, okay? Meaning to say that in this case, right, okay, it actually helped the university to boost out the ranking. The moment your ranking is up, right, so it's actually helped to improve the global reputation. So this is something, this is some of the reason why the university emphasize so much on the research, okay? Now at UOW Malaysia, right, at UOW Malaysia, why is it, what is the research aim, and then what are those future direction, okay? So now at UOW Malaysia, our research, right, basically is aimed to push the boundary of the knowledge, foster innovation, okay, and address the global challenges. Especially these days, right, everybody is talking about SDG, okay? So we know that United Nations, right, they actually have the SDG goal. So regardless on what is the grant funding, or normally even at our postgraduate student, right, when they do when they actually do the research, right, we will always want them to actually under this day, right, under the significance of study, we actually want them to highlight that, right, what are the SDG goal that they want to achieve, okay? So when you want to apply for grant as well, right, okay, they actually want you to align, want you to mention specifically which SDG goal actually they want to align with, okay? So that's why basically is to address the global challenges and also to inspire the student and academic staff, right, to share their knowledge and also serve in the academic field. So generally, this is the research aim, okay? And this statement, right, is actually available in our UOW Malaysia website, okay? It's clearly stated. All right. And then the next thing is that our direction, okay, the research direction. Basically, our research focus on these few key area, okay? However, it's not limited to this few area only. Now, the few area that basically we want to emphasize is actually based on the faculty or the school that we have in both is campus, okay, both campuses, meaning to say that the Glen Marie campus and also the Penang campus, okay. So basically, right, our research will actually focus on the technology and engineering. So this day, right, okay, those innovation in the AI, robotics, cybersecurity, engineering, okay, and for social science and humanity, okay, human behavior, cultural dynamics, okay, and social policy, educations, all these are the different area that our institution, right, the research direction is actually focused at. And business economics, right, we have the economic development, business strategy, okay, finance and entrepreneurship. This even this day, right, when we talk about the grant, right, okay, when we talk about the grant, the government also requested, right, okay, requested saying that, right, whatever research that you want to do, right, should align with the government's how to say that, the individual governments, and then to see that what you actually can help to solve the government issue, okay. And also in terms of the hospitality, tourism, and culinary arts, okay. And this day, like I say, right, regardless what field you are coming from, right, a lot of those issues is actually centered around on the sustainability, okay. How do you actually help to conserve the environment? How do you make sure that, right, what is the new way for renewable energy, okay, and sustainable urban development and circular economy? But of course, sustainability, right, not only talk about science, it can also come up from the social science aspect, like for example, sustainable education, and then how do you actually reduce urban poverty? All these things is actually not only come from science when we talk about sustainability. So these are some of those research direction the university is actually emphasized on, okay. Now, the research achievement so far, right? Okay, so far, what have the university have done, right? So talking about the external research funding, right? Okay, research external funding, it can be from the national, okay, national research, like for example, the government funding, okay. So international, right? We also has secured a number of international grant, okay. So the amount that we secure so far, right, has been more than 5.5 million, okay. And then the awards is that our university is actually actively take part in those national and international award, okay, like for example, innovation award, okay, and then and also on those technology expos, okay. Now, not only from those science aspect, right? Those social science one, right? For example, some of the school they also take part in the culinary, okay, and culinary competition. They also take part in the filming competitions, okay, and also they take part in the education pedagogy competition as well, okay. So all those, right, are some of those evidence that we actually, the university have done excellence in this area, okay. Now, the next one is that the research collaboration and partnership, okay. We actually have established a number of those industrial collaboration with some of those prominent company like Sony Malaysia, Sandbox, Signature Kitchens, okay, and Intel. All these are some of those long-term partnership, okay, and also strong partnership with some of those well-known international university like UKM, UPM, USM, UTM. All these are actually in terms of the long-term collaboration, okay. The MOU is actually renewed every 3 years and or every 5 years. And also we actually have the collaboration with Sustainable Building Research Center and a number of those universities from India, Indonesia, and China as well, okay. Now the publication is that, right, more than half of the article published by UNW Malaysia is actually index Scopus or Web of Science in Q1 and Q2, okay. Now, I think for the new staff, right, most of you actually, if you are interested in research, sometimes you have no choice because part of your KPI, right, is actually research component is actually part of your KPI. So you have no choice, all right, we'll leave you with no choice, you really need to work on the research. So you need to know what are the support or the facility the university is actually, UW is actually providing, okay? So basically, right, the center, right, actually that you work closely is Postgraduate and Research Center, PGRC, okay? So anything with the related to the research, right, you need to go through PGRC. Like for example, you want to apply for grant, regardless internal grant or external grant, you want to apply for funding for conference, okay? You want to apply funding for APC support. All these things need to go through PGRC, okay? So for UG campus, right, Glenmary campus, okay, the Postgraduate Research Center is actually located at second floor, okay, the Discovery Center, second floor, okay. Penang side, you may have to check with Dr. Azrin, okay. So PGRC, right, we also manage the postgraduate launch, okay, also at the second floor there, okay. Now, so the first support, okay, we will actually provide is in terms of the grant application. So some of the staff, right? Okay, maybe you said that you are new in the research, okay, you are new in the research, so you are not too sure how can you go about to apply external funding. So we also encourage that, right? We do understand that some of those external funding, right, when they open out, right, they actually require the project leader, right, to have certain experience, right? They need the applicant to provide the evidence that they actually have successfully completed a project or research project. So that's why internal grant, right, actually provide a good opportunity for those young researchers to start with to gain experience on how to manage the project. Okay, so internal grant, right, every year, all right, every year we will announce that there will be an opening, okay? So how do we actually announce? Okay, normally it's through corporate com, okay? Corporate com, right? Okay, the recent practice is that, right, normally the opening, right, will be somewhere around in June or July, okay? In June or July, we will actually open it. The reason being is that, right, okay, because at the beginning of the year, right, government funding normally will open, all right? Government funding. So normally we will actually let the staff to focus on those external funding first, okay, like FRGS, okay, and then those Dana Inovasi and Dana Guardian Social. So all those, right, we will let the staff focus on the external funding first, okay, and then the second half of the year, right, okay, for those, right, the new researcher, they actually can actually focus on the internal funding. Okay, now another rationale for this is also, right, some of the young researcher, right, we also want them to train by the senior researcher. So we actually will be good that, right, for the young researcher in their team composition there, right, in the team composition there, they will actually consist of some of those senior researcher from the school, or it can be a multidisciplinary research, meaning to say that not necessarily from your own department. Like for example, you are working on the topic of sustainability, okay, so you actually can source help from other department as well, so you can get someone who are senior, okay. So that's why in that during that time, the senior researcher, right, they already done they already done they can actually shift their focus away from the external grant application, because the external grant application is normally at the first half of the year. So during this time, right, those senior researcher, they have more time to actually guide the junior researcher on how to put in the proper internal grant application. Okay, so now so our IRGS, right, our internal research grant, right, basically that format, right, is mirror the government funding, the FRGS. So that is the reason we really want the staff to experience, right, to get the hands on experience on how to apply for the external funding, especially the FRGS, because the FRGS, right, is actually the funding opportunity open every year by the government. Okay, so this is basically provide a hands-on experience for the staff, right, especially those young researcher, okay, young researcher, to have the experience on how to go about to apply, and then what are those requirements that is needed. Okay, so At the same time, despite this one is actually the internal research grant, right? We also encourage, right, the applicant, okay, the project leader to reach out to their network, right, to other institutions. Like for example, if you have friends that work in the or even your supervisor, okay, your supervisor that work in other institution, right? You can actually invite them to become your team member, despite this one is actually internal research grant. The reason being is that, right? Okay, when you apply for internal grant, okay, you must promise certain research output, like for example, one research publication, okay? So when you produce the research output in terms of the publication, you need to publish, okay? So when you actually publish, right, you have the researcher from other institution, right? This is one of the way, right, you can actually help the university to boost up the research ranking, because always, right, in terms of government, in terms of QS ranking, they always look for a national collaboration, okay, and international collaboration. So that's why, right, if you have some other friends that is work, or your supervisor actually work in other institution, okay, and also you have friends who work overseas, you can also invite them to join your grant application. So this is how you actually can help the university and also build out your own profile as well, okay? So for now, the university website, right, is actually provide some of those information about the grant opportunity, okay? So you can access through the link provided. Okay, now the next one is a conference fund support. Okay, now the institution also provide the funding if the staff, right, especially for those grant holder, okay, if eventually, right, you completed your research project, okay, then after that, right, you want to present your research output, yes, by all means, right, PGRC will provide funding for that, okay. You can actually go to present at the national and international conference, okay. Now but of course this one is subject to approval. You need to apply for it. There are certain guideline SOP that you need to follow, okay. Now the reason why we actually provide our conference funding is because, okay, we actually want you to extend your network, because most of the time you go for conference, right, you meet up with people, so that you actually can extend your network. All right, now like I say, right, all the requests, right, you must be authorized before you actually do booking and confirm your attendance. So basically, right, the step-by-step process, right, in the next slide I will go through. So each staff is actually limited to a total sponsorship of up to, if let's say for example the conference event is actually held in Asia Pacific, like for example in Singapore, in Thailand, all right, okay, then we will sponsor up to 5,000, okay. Then for outside Asia Pacific is 7,500, okay. Now if within Malaysia is 2,800, okay. So this amount, right, is actually inclusive of registration fee, accommodation, and also travel expenses. Now for overseas, right, for overseas, in case, right, you need to pay for the travel insurance, okay, or the visa, all right, this one is also part of the travel expenses, okay. It's actually inclusive of all this, provided, right, it is the amount is not exceed the maximum amount cap. All right, again, like I say, right, this thing it need to go through the approval at field level, field level, meaning to say that it need to get the support from your head of school first, okay, or head of department, okay, and then after that approved by PGRC, and then approved by the VC, and also the sorry, the DVC first, and then VC, and even go up to our CEO, okay. Now before all this funding approval, right, before that, okay, uh this one, right, okay, before that, right, now, you can see that the application process, right? There are certain SOP, that there are certain step-by-step rules, right? That's the applicant need to follow. Okay. So application, right? Uh you need to apply for the conference funding, right, at minimum 2 months before the end of the event registration date for a local event and 3 months prior to the end of the event registration date for others event, meaning to say that the overseas event, okay? So you need to put in a conference fund and travel application form. That is this form that is specifically for you to apply for the conference funding. So now you may ask me, where can I get that form? Okay, so for all the policy that is related to PGRC, okay, all the policy that is related to research or postgraduate study, right, is actually available in the SharePoint, okay. For UG side, right, for UG side is under QMS, under academic, under PGRC, okay. Is you can just go into the folder, okay. In case you cannot find it, you can always write to me, okay. So now at here, right, okay, so some of the staff, right, they will come and ask, they always have this concern is that, right, they will not be able to meet the timeline whereby 2 months before the conference event, okay, or for local conference events, and then for the international ones, 3 months conference event, because you need to apply before 3 months, and then the local conference is 2 months, okay. PGRC take note on this part, okay. We do understand that some of the conference, right, because they want to encourage a lot of response, okay, so or sometimes the response might not be that good, so that's why they keep extending their due date, okay. The moment they're extending their due date, right, meaning to say that you will not be able to receive the notice of acceptance that soon. The moment that because we will only process any conference application when the staff, right, you attach the acceptance notice, okay. When you get the acceptance notice, only that you can apply for the conference funding, okay. So when you put in the conference fund and travel application form, you need to attach together is the abstract, okay, because you need to send the abstract to apply for the conference as well, okay. So whatever abstract that you hand in to the conference organizer to get your paper accepted, that abstract and then the notice, right, the acceptance notice, and also the conference fund and travel application form need to go into PGRC. All right, so that's why we do understand that sometimes that 2 months and 3 months you may not be able to meet it. All right, what you can do is that you can always write to PGRC, say that you are actually in the process to apply for this one, okay, for this conference, right. So in that case, right, we won't be able to actually give some leniency. All right, but however, please do not do something like this, okay. There are some staff, right, okay, they only apply for the conference funding after they come back, to from the conference, okay, from the conference. They attend the conference first, then after that they come back, they say that they come to PGRC, can I claim? I'm so sorry, right? We cannot do that. You must apply for that. All right. You must apply for that. And also, please also don't come and tell us that, right? The conference is in 1 week time, in 2 weeks time. Okay. So you can see that, right? Why we're actually having concern on this on the timeline is because, right, after you put in the application form, right, you realize that, right, okay, you need, before the application form can reach to PGRC, right, your own head of school or head of department, right, need to approve on your application first. The reason being is that, right, because let's say, for example, especially if you are going for overseas conference, okay, you are going for overseas conference, so the head of school need to be aware of this, whether, right, your attendance in the conference, is it affect your teaching or not, okay. So if you need to be away for 1 week or 2 week, is it affect your teaching or not? Did you do a replacement beforehand or not? So that's why these are all the things that the head of school need to be aware of. So that's why you must get the approval from the head of school before you actually can
various
apply.
meetings that you've all got in your calendars now in February, if not before. Thank you very much. Great to see you. And executive, can you please stay on the meeting so that we can continue with our executive committee meeting? Thanks, everyone.
See you all.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, so now the next one is that, right, okay, After that, right, after you get the approval, right, after you get the approval from the respective head of school or the head of department, right, the next thing is that, right, the application, right, it needs to be reviewed by two internal reviewer, okay, two internal reviewer in a double blind process. So meaning to say that, right, okay, after your head of school has approved, you send the document to us, the abstract, okay, the abstract, okay, and also, when you submit your abstract to the PGRC, right, PGRC will need to appoint two internal reviewer to actually to review on your article or the abstract that is submitted to us. Okay, so that's why this one will take time. This one will take about 2 weeks time. Okay, this one will take about 2 weeks time. Then after that, right, if the internal reviewer have any concern, right, they may actually send back to the PGRC and request the applicant to make some amendment on that. Okay, because this one, right, when the applicant put in the application, right, they also need to attach, like for example, the quotation for the hotel price, the air ticket price. So the reviewer also will need to consider on the feasibility, not only the abstract itself, the reviewer not only just consider the content of the abstract, they also will assess on the feasibility, whether the conference, right, is it worth to send for, and then the hotel that the application is applied for, okay, then all those things, right, the reviewer will actually need to take into consideration. So it will take about 2 weeks by the reviewer to actually to review whether that proposed application is actually feasible or not in terms of the time, in terms of the resources that is used, in terms of the cost that is needed. So that's why in this case, right, okay, it may delay the process even longer. So after that, right, if there is no more issue from the reviewer, PGRC will need to send to RIC committee. Okay, this is another standing committee, right, who report directly to Senate. Okay, so they will review. Okay, they will review the application. Okay, if there is no objection, right, then PGRC will actually inform the applicant. Okay, inform the applicant they are good to go. Okay, they are good to go. So the applicant can actually go to attend the conference, and then after they attend the conference, right, they come back, they have to submit the conference travel report. Okay, they need to submit the conference travel report within 10 days after they come back from the conference. Then after that, right, they also need to conduct the seminar not more than 12 months after the conference to all the staff and all the postgraduate student. So this one is within 12 months. PGRC or Teaching and Learning Center will contact you. All right, they will contact you to ask you, right, what is the date you can go in for the research seminar. This is a must. Okay. All right, then after you present in a conference, right, after you present in the conference, okay, your paper must make sure that it's either published in the conference proceeding or you actually submit to the article, the journal, all right, for a publication. Okay, so this is a must. This is a must, something that you have to do. We cannot just, the institution cannot just send you for a conference without expecting certain output from you. So it's either your article eventually will publish in the conference proceeding, or you actually will get the work published in the journal within 12 months from the day of the conference. Okay, so you need to submit the evidence for that. Okay, so this is the entire process where you apply for the conference funding. Okay. Now, another one is the article processing charge. Okay, what is the meaning for article processing charge? Okay, now this day, right, a lot of those researchers, they are going after the open access. Okay, the open access, and we all know that, right? Why a lot of researchers they are going after open access is because, right, they want to get higher citation. Even some of the university, right, for the KPI, they are no longer looking into how many articles that you publish. Instead, they look at how many citations that you have. So that's why a lot of researchers, right, they wish to publish in the open access journal. And we know that, right, for open access journal, right, the APC charges is so high. All right, APC charges is so high. It can be up to 3,000 euro, okay? And then like for example, 4,000 USD. So this amount, right, per article, I'm talking about per article, right? So this amount is never cheap, all right? It's so expensive, okay? So, but because we are actually University of Wollongong, Malaysia, right? We are actually part of the UOW, okay, GE Global Network, okay. So that's why UOW Australia, they actually get the assistance from, they actually sign an agreement with UOW Australia government, okay. So they actually have this read and publish agreement, okay. So but having this agreement meaning to say that, right? Meaning to say that we actually can get the APC waiver, okay? When the staff want to publish in the open access journal, okay? So this, right, is actually extend to 14 publisher. So this 14 publisher, right, include here. So meaning to say that, right? Okay, meaning to say that if you want to publish in certain, like for example, you want to publish in the Springer Nature, right? Okay, this you look for this publisher, you want to publish in any of those open access journal that is listed under Springer Nature, right? You actually can get your APC where for this, okay? So if you want to get further information about this one, okay, further information about this one, you can actually follow the link at here. So meaning to say that, right? Okay, meaning to say that as long as you are using UOW email address, okay, UOW email address, you become the corresponding author, you use the UOW email address, you are entitled for this APC fee waiver, okay? Now, however, right, there are certain publisher, right, like Elsevier, all right, Elsevier. There are some of the journal that is listed inside there. They do not entitle for 100% fee waiver. Some of them, they only give 15% discount or 20% discount. But some of them, they even, some of them, they're still given 100% fee waiver, okay? So what you can do is that you can just go to this website, okay? You can also go to Google search University of Wollongong, Australia, Read and Publish Agreement 2025. So you can actually access to all these publishers. You click at the link there, there will be a list of the journal that is under this publisher. Okay, then you can check, right, what are those journal that is entitled for free APC waiver. Okay, this is actually something very good when you want to collaborate with the external collaborator. Okay, because most of the university in Malaysia, right, they don't entitle for this privilege, except those branch university of from Australia, like those Monash, all right, because this one is actually from the Australia government. So those Australia university, right, their branch university, right, their staff are entitled for this benefit because they extend by Australia government. So but other university, right, even the public university, they don't entitle for this privilege. So if you want to have collaboration with some of these external party, right, you can actually tell them that, right, okay, you can go in as a corresponding author. Then because using the corresponding author, they can entitle for the fee waiver, APC fee waiver, which save a lot. Like for example, I say just now, 4,000 USD, 4,000 euro, that is a lot of money, okay? So now, in order for you to entitle for this privilege, this benefit, right, you have to make sure that you put in the affiliation correctly, the affiliation correctly. Put in University of Wollongong, Malaysia, for those you are from Glenmarie campus, okay? For those Penang campus, right, okay, Penang campus, use this affiliation correctly and your ORCID ID, okay, in order to make sure that they actually can check on the affiliation correctly, okay? And we also encourage, right, we want the staff, right, when you actually put in the affiliation, right, put in both affiliation, okay? Put in University of Wollongong, Malaysia and UOW Malaysia, KDU Penang UC. All right. Now, some of the staff may actually ask, right, why? And some of the publisher, right, or some of the journal that actually do not allow you to actually put in two affiliation at the same time. Okay, it's actually most of the journal, right, they actually allow you to put in two affiliation. It's just that they do not allow you. Okay. The first time you put in University of Wollongong, Malaysia, and later on when you set your your paper is published, accepted and published, then only at that time you actually request to add in another application. In such circumstances, it's not permitted. You are not allowed to do so. It's not ethical. All right, it's not ethical for you to do something like this. Okay. Now, the next one is patent application. This one, especially those from science one, those from science, okay? When you talk about a patent, right? When you talk about a patent, okay, a lot of you, if you have an innovative idea, you want to get it protected, right? Okay, so you can actually file for a patent. For those in social science one, like for example, you develop a new scale, okay, for you to measure certain variable, you want to apply for a you want to apply for a copyright or whatever, right? PGRC is there to provide support. All right. Now for patent, right? Currently, right, PGRC is actually provide the support on how to apply the patent. Okay, we will actually guiding you from the step one until the last step. All right. Now the process, right? The process, let me just tell you that the process for you to apply for a patent is a lengthy process and it's very time consuming process. Okay. Based on our past experience, we actually have the patent that is applied on year 2021, okay, and it's only being granted at year 2024. So it's actually a lengthy process. And along the way, right, okay, my IPO, right, the agency in Malaysia that take charge of all these patent application copyright thingy, right, they will actually request you to provide documentation along the way. So PGRC is there to assist you for all these patent or copyright application or even the utility innovation, okay, utility innovation application as well. Okay, so the funding also will come under PGRC. Okay, the funding will also come under PGRC. But because the funding, all these things is actually come under PGRC, so you need to know that, right? All the patent, right? Okay, the copyright, the patent, all this, right? The IP ownership belong to the institution. But of course, your name will be there, all right? Because you are the inventor, okay? You are the inventor. Your name will be acknowledged, okay? So like I say, right, basically why we actually encourage the staff to patent their idea. This is a way to protect the innovation and also their contribution. So in this case, right, for those new innovative idea, not just limit to protect, you can not only through patent, it can be through utility innovation application as well, and also the copyright as well. Okay. Now, the next one is the library resources. I believe that you have gone through this training before on how to use our library facility, okay? Now, just in case that some of you, right, you actually want to use the UOW Australia library, right, you can actually, you need certain article from that library, right? You can always request from the librarian, our librarian, right, to our librarian that will actually assist you to get certain resources. No worry on that. Okay, and then the staff training and development. Okay, workshop and training program are actually available. Okay, those topic that is related to the research are provided from time to time. Like for example, certain data analysis software. Okay, like I think this morning there is another data analysis like using NVivo, Smart PLS. Okay, we also have the speaker that is coming in on how to do the publication, and also we will invite the speaker to come in on how to write the grant proposal. Okay, so basically, right, this is some of those workshop and training that PGRC will provide. I'm not too sure that how many of you is actually interested to attend the Smart PLS workshop. Okay, we will invite Prof. Ramaya, okay, to come in on next year, beginning of next year in January to provide a Smart PLS workshop. So I think that some of you should be very familiar already, because through corporate com from time to time, all right, teaching and learning center, they will actually announce that, all right, through corporate com announcement, they actually tell you that what are the training program is actually available for the certain months. Every month they actually update through corporate com. Okay, so all you need to do just register. All right, just take note that for all the academic staff, right, your CPD hour must be more than or equal to 40 hours. All right. Last time, right, this one contribute to your KPI. This day, right, no matter how, right, okay, you must complete 40 hours. Okay, you must complete 40 hours. Okay. Now, the sponsorship for postgraduate study, right? Okay, some of you, right? Let's say, for example, for today's, right? You are a master holder. You want to further your study, right, into a PhD, all right? Okay, the institution actually provides support for you to continue your postgraduate study. Okay, now some of you may come back and ask, right? May come back and ask, okay, can I enroll to external institution instead of enroll to the postgraduate program in the institution? Because the institution, right, UOW Malaysia, we do provide postgraduate study. So some of you may say that, can I actually enroll outside? Okay. Now, of course, the priority is always, all right, study in UOW Malaysia. Okay. Now, however, right, exception, right, can still provide, okay, provided that the program, right, the program that you want to apply, right, okay, or your research area, right, that you are working on, right, we do not have the expertise in this area. Okay. The current practice is that, right, the institution will provide the sponsorship up to 15K for a postgraduate program, PhD level. All right. For the rest, all right, the further detail, right, this one, right, you all need to check with HR. Okay, you all need to check with HR. All right. So this one again, like I say, right, in order for you to entitle for the sponsorship, right? Okay. According to our policy is that I think some of you did attend the HR training. Okay, the training provided by HR. They did also mention to you that, right, by default, all the staff you will get 50% discount. Some of you may say that I need more. All right, I need 75%. I need 100% fee waiver. All those things, right? This one, right, it all go back to your head of school. Ask your head of school to write a recommendation letter, okay, and then try to support for this fee waiver. It's doable, all right, it's possible. Okay. Now, so all those are actually the support provided by the institution, okay, under, excuse me, under research area, okay. All right, now move on to the next part is the research strategy. Okay, the research strategy, meaning to say that what are some of those things the university is planned to do, or how the university is going to do to improve the university in terms of the research standing. Okay, now the first one is that we need to make sure that the quality of the researcher, all right, the quality of researcher. We also understand that, right, research need times, okay? So that's why, right, in UOW Malaysia, the staff is actually entitled for a flexi hour. Now, this flexibility is provided, right, so that, right, we want to encourage the staff to do their PhD and also to do their, how to say that, to actually to work on their research area. Okay, so you all can see that, right, in your KPI, I think most probably this year some of you may not go through that KPI round because you are not confirmed yet. Okay, so the KPI, right, for those master qualification, right, some of you, if you are still master qualification, right, they will actually in your KPI will always be that, right, you need to embark on your PhD program. Okay, now and if you are under the university funding, right, you need to actually ensure that, right, every semester you actually submit your progress report so that the university can track on your progress. Okay, now another one is that, right, we also want to encourage the researcher, right, to actually join certain membership. Okay, join certain membership. Like for example, there are a lot of those professional body out there, like for example MIM, okay, CIM. These are and like for example for science part, right, you want to become a member of MBOT, okay, professional technologies, okay, board of engineer, and then the chartered accountant. Okay, so all these professional body, right, you want to join, right, you can actually just apply for this benefit. The university actually provide funding for this. Okay. Now the reason why we actually encourage you to join this application is that the very first reason, of course, is to extend your network. Okay, it's actually to extend your network, and also from time to time, right? This type of professional association, okay, normally they will provide certain like training, all those things. This is a way for you to actually to develop, is actually part of the development program. Okay, so that's why any of those professional body you think that you want to join, right, just fill out the form from get the form from HR. Okay, and then fill out the form, get your head to approve it. Okay, then VC need to approve on this request. Okay, as long as those professional body, right, the membership, if I'm not mistaken, should not be more than 2,000 per annum. So you are but of course, when you want to apply for this, right, you must be able to justify why you need to apply for this professional membership. Okay, now the university also, right, they actually form certain strategic partnership with the professional body, okay, in order to offer the professional qualification opportunity for the academic staff, like for example, and board of engineer, all those. Okay, now in terms of improving the quality of the research, right? So that's why, like I say, right, the university actually also provide funding for publication of high impact paper. So we actually provide support for APC. Now, I do understand that there are some of those researchers come and ask, okay, because, right, there are some of those cases, okay, there are some of those cases whereby the correspondent author is from the external institution, okay, corresponding author. So in that case, right, you are not able to use the read and publish agreement that extended by UOW Australia, because the correspondent author email address must be UOW email address in order for you to entitle for that benefit APC fee waiver. So that's why sometimes, right, the corresponding author is not from UOW Australia, but you are one of the core researcher. So you are actually being asked to cover certain APC charge. Okay, so in that case, right, okay, as long as PJRC see that, right, the journal is not a predictory journal, it's a high impact journal. Okay, PJRC will provide funding for that, we will provide support for that. Okay, but of course, you don't in a year come in with 3 or 4 requests asking for 12K, asking for 18K for the APC. All right, that doesn't make sense. Okay, be reasonable. All right, okay. Then the next one is that, right, in terms of the quality, we also want to standardize the affiliation information, because, right, we still observe that some of the staff, right, when they go for publication, right, okay, when they go for publication, some of them using UOW Malaysia, some of them they are using University of Wollongong Malaysia, some of them they are using UOW KDU UC. So the affiliation information is not even standardized, it's not even consistent. Now, why it's actually become a concern is because every year, right, okay, we need to report to MIRA, the Ministry of Higher Education, okay, in terms of the research output. So these are unstandardized information, make it very hard for the university to capture, right, the research output and report correctly. So that's why this is why we want to make sure that all this information is actually standardized. Okay, now the next thing is that, right, okay, we want to, like I said just now, in terms of the collaboration, okay, because like I say, right, in order to boost up the university ranking, national collaboration, international collaboration, and industrial collaboration is always contribute higher marks. So that's why basically we don't really encourage, okay, we don't really encourage that you publish an article with all the author, right, is actually come from the same institution only. Okay, it doesn't come from the same institution. That's why, if possible, right, have some of those researchers come from the, like for example, if you are residing at Selangor campus, reach out to Penang colleague. So at least this is what we call national collaboration. Okay, and also we also always encourage the staff to have some co-author from the industry. and international collaboration. How do you actually have, if by all means you already have your own network, international network, right? You can always make use of that. If you do not have, you can always reach out to the colleague in UOW Australia, UOW Dubai, UOW Hong Kong, UOW India. If you are not too sure how to reach out, you can always look for PGRC. We can actually help you to do the connect. Okay, we can help you to connect. All right. Now the next one is the award program. Okay, award program. Okay, we actually encourage, right? Okay, the staff to contribute more in terms of research. So there are certain award that is actually introduced to encourage the staff to actually embark in their research journal. Okay, journey. Sorry. Okay, now, and also another one is the symposium and conference, okay? So I think some of you also read the corporate com message, okay? Teaching and Learning Symposium is going to schedule end of this month. So that's why from time to time, we actually have the symposium and also conference, okay? Teaching and Learning Symposium is actually solely hosted by UOW Malaysia, but the conference, right? Some of the conference is actually co-host with external university like UKM, UTM, and even some of those we become the co-host with some of the university. Okay, so that's why this is one of the platform. Okay, this is one of the platform. We want to encourage the staff to present their research output. Okay. That is the way we want to increase on the quality, improve the quality of the research. Now, talking about the research grant, okay, the research grant, okay, this is, like I said, grant is actually a way to bring income to the university, okay, bring income to the university. So it's definitely help the university to boost the ranking, okay. So what the university do, right, in terms of the research grant, right, we actually provide the training and then boot camp for the academic staff, okay. So the training is that we will actually invite external speaker who are normally those the judge for the FRGS grant application. So we invite them to come in to provide the training or the workshop on how to write a grant proposal. Or the boot camp, like this year in May, we actually provide the research retreat. We gather the staff together from both campuses together to actually provide opportunity for the staff from two campuses to sit down together to brainstorm the research idea, and then for them to go in with the grant application. Okay, and then right, like I say, right, we also will ask PGRC also will work with the head of school to observe, see some of those staff, right, especially those staff, right, who holding a doctoral qualification, will actually need them to actually build up their skill in this area. So we will actually ask the head of school to nominate some of those staff to attend for certain training, okay. And also, like I say, right, we actually have a number of adjunct, all right, we have a number of adjunct professor. And also we want to encourage the staff to reach out to this adjunct professor and also some of the colleague in different campuses to actually to go in to apply for the grant together. Okay, for national grant, right? For national grant like FRGS or this grant, right? Government always encouraged international collaboration. So by having the researcher, right, from different institutions, especially from overseas, right, it will actually help you to boost out the chance to secure the grant. Okay, so also from time to time, right, through corporate com, also PGRC will announce what are those grant opening. All right, so we will tell you that now this is the grant that is open. Okay, so you're encouraged to apply for this funding. So along the way, right, because some of those, especially some of those international grant funding, right, they will actually need certain document to prove on your institution, the viability of the institutions, okay, to also to show that the identity of the institution by providing the SSM, to providing the financial statements of the, and also the tax account, all this, right, okay. So PGRC is there to assist you to provide all these documents. Okay, so for all those grant application, regardless national or international, okay, PGRC is there to assist you with some of those documents. Okay, because you cannot write directly as an applicant, you cannot write directly to registrar office, to admin office to request them to provide the document. I want a bank account, I want the financial statement. They will not provide. All right, you must go through PGRC to get all these documents ready for you. Okay, so we also, that's why like this day, right, a lot of those topic is actually centered around sustainability. So sustainability, this topic is most of the time is multidisciplinary research. So that's why we will actually encourage you to not just stick your research cluster within your own school. It's always good that to expand it. Okay, so this is one of the way you actually increase your chances to secure the funding as well, because like I said, this day a lot of those research, they are actually encouraged for multidisciplinary research, and also mentor and mentee program. Okay, mentor and mentee program. So this is what I mentioned just now for the internal research grant, right? Okay, internal research grant. We do not encourage those senior researcher to apply for internal research grant. All right, the reason being is that, right, internal research grant is mostly we want to give an opportunity for the young researcher to explore, to get hands-on experience on how to go through the entire process to apply for a grant. Like what are those documents that is needed? Okay, what is the proper Gantt chart that is needed by the government grant policy, all those things. So that's why we will always encourage, right, the junior researcher is actually mentor under the mentorship of the senior researcher. Okay, so they will work together. All right, they will work together to ensure that the junior researcher is being developed properly. Okay, now then the next one is that, right, the networking and then the partnership opportunity with the industry. Okay, like I said just now, right, government also encourage the university actually to have partnership or collaboration with the industry, so that we do not lose that tie with the industry, whereby, right, we do not want to produce something that is not wanted by the industry. So that's why we always encourage you to have the linkage with the industry. So that's why even the publication also, you are encouraged to have the co-author from the industry, not necessarily from the university, from the academic institution. It can be from, like, for example, from hospital or from those private research center. Okay, this one is doable. All right, okay. Now, also, right, because like I say, government also, they are in order to boost the university ranking, right, under all those ranking requirements, they also want to make sure that the project is actually complete on time. Okay, they're complete on time. So that's why what the university do is that we actually put in the SOP to monitor on the research progress. So if you successfully secure internal grant, okay, even the external grant also, PGRC is there to monitor on your progress. Every 6 months, you have to submit the progress report. Okay, so this one is through the government. Government will actually request you to submit the progress report. So all those reports will have to submit through PGRC. So for internal research grant as well, okay, PGRC will require you to submit, okay, your progress report every 6 months, so that we can monitor, okay, we can monitor to make sure that, okay, to make sure that you can your project is progressing well and your finance is being utilized properly. Okay, then you are progress towards the project completion and also achieving your project KPI. All right, so there will be a warning system. If, let's say, for example, right, because when you submit your grant application, right, there should be a proper Gantt chart you actually submitted to promise certain milestone at different stage. Okay, so that one, right, if you are not progressing accordingly, okay, so this one is actually will be, because every time you submit, right, your progress report, it need to be approved by, you need to submit the progress report to your head of school before you can forward that copy to PGRC. So that's why, right, your head of school will actually know how well you handle the project. So it's actually part of your KPI. So now why PGRC is keep track on this one? Because eventually PGRC will need to submit all this detail to Ministry of Higher Education, even though it's the internal research grant, because Ministry of Higher Education want to monitor on the research activity within the institution. So that's why PGRC is there to monitor on your progress. Okay, so in order to make sure that because like I say, internal research grant, right, are normally open for those young researcher. So in order to make sure that the project leader have that competency, right, training will be provided on that. Okay. Now, the innovation, like I say, right, innovation, this one also is actually contribute to the university ranking. Okay, so when we talk about the innovation, right, it can become from the patent, the utility innovation, and even copyright. Okay, so there are proper policy in place to govern on this area. Okay, so again, you want to patent your innovative idea, you want to patent all those utility innovation, all those things need to go through PGRC. Okay, and like for example, you want to actually have a MOA signing, MOU signing, all these things, right? Okay, it will need to go through PGRC as well. PGRC will actually provide uh guidance and also advice on this area, like for example, how you're supposed to draw out a proper MOA, how do you supposed to draw out a proper MOU. Okay, all these things PGRC is there, and also for all the MOA and MOU, right? Okay, it need to go to the legal counsel at the institution level. Then after that, right, I think all of you also know that we are also operate under global network, UOW global network. So that's why all those documents, beside getting approval from the UOW legal counsel, it need to go to the next level. That is the legal counsel from the global network. Okay, so that's why PGRC is there to assist you to look after all those things. Okay, so like I say, in order to make sure that, right, you are actually having the higher chances to file for all this, right? Okay, tap on the expertise of UOW Australia colleagues. Okay, like I say, if you are not too sure how to start on this part, you can always look for PGRC for assistance. We are there to assist you. Okay, now the networking and linkage. Okay, so this one, like I say, government, right? Government is actually encouraged you have collaboration. Do not just do research within your own institution, because you always want to go for knowledge transfer and knowledge sharing. So it's good that, right, you collaborate with different institution and sector and industry. So that's why, right, this is something we also encourage. Okay, do not afraid to reach out to your supervisor from other institution, right, to say that you want to have a research collaboration, or you have this internal grant that you want to go in, you will want to invite them to become the team member. By all means, you can go ahead. All right. Okay. If you need any document, because some of those supervisors, some of your colleague, right, from not colleague, some of your friends, right, okay, they are from other institution, they need certain documents, said that they want some evidence that, because this is part of their KPI. So PGRC is there to assist to provide this out document. Okay, so from time to time, also like I say, right, we will actually organize the workshop and conference, right? We are actually invite some external party to come in. Like for example, even some of the workshop, right, we actually have like research integrity, research ethics, how to use the generative AI in producing research paper, all these things, right? We actually invite the speaker from UOW Australia to come in. Okay, now another one is that, right, a lot of the time, right, staff, right, they only focus on doing the research that is on innovative idea and more on a scholarly research. Okay, more on the scholarly research. We actually also will provide the grant, right, meaning to say that our IRGS, we also encourage the staff, right, that go for a project that aim for social innovation or technology diffusion, meaning to say that, right, now basically you actually can collaborate with the local community, like the NGO or the industrial partner, whereby, right, you actually help to, you identify certain local community, all right, and you think that you can actually can bring in the innovation that you have, okay, in the university to actually to bring up the welfare of this local community, all right. You can actually go ahead with this one. You can put in a grant to request funding for this project, okay. This is some of the initiative encouraged by Malaysia Ministry of Higher Education. So in order to align with the government direction, right, so this is some of those initiatives that the institution is actually provide as well, okay. So that's why, like I said, along the way, when you want to collaborate, right, you want to work with the local community, the NGO, if you need certain document, right, always reach out to PGRC. We are there to assist you to prepare those documents, okay. Now, so basically that's all, okay. All the research, the research information that you need to know about UOW Malaysia, okay. So now, as a conclusion, right, okay, research is very, very important in UOW Malaysia, okay. For Glen Marie campus, right, for KL campus, the reason why research is so important to us is that because I think University of Wollongong, Malaysia, we are just a very young university, okay, very young university. Of course, if you are talking about KDU, right, we are there for so long, more than 40 years already. But the title University of Wollongong, Malaysia, we are still very new. So in terms of the university, right, okay, we are still very young. So like I said, when you look at QS ranking, Times education ranking, all this, right, basically research has contributed very high weightage. So that's why research is very important for University of Wollongong, Malaysia. And for Penang campus, right, why research is very, very important is because, right, Penang is in the process of upgrading from university college into university. So that's why research is actually become a very key component, okay? And then, like I say, right, after today's briefing, all right, after today's sharing session, you will be able to know that, right, what are those support the university actually provide, okay? And then we actually look forward to the contribution from you. So for Glen Marie campus, in order for you to get further information about any of those research activity, okay, you can always reach out to me. Okay, this is my email address. For Penang campus, right, always reach out to Dr. Azrin. Okay, she is the head of PGRC at Betokawan campus. So this is her email address. Okay, so do you have any other questions? Do you have any questions before I end the session? Do you have any question? Do you have any question? No question. Who are those from Penang campus? Yeah, Dr. Gita, I know that you are from, thank you, Dr. Gita, you are from UG campus.
I'm from Penang.
You are from Penang. Which school are you?
Big environment.
Or built environment. All right. Are you currently doing your PhD?
Not yet, but I'm planning to do so.
All right. But
Yeah.
in your area, built environment, I think you have to, I don't think Penang campus is actually provide any postgraduate study on built environment, right? Or
Yeah,
your,
no.
yeah. All right. So you may have to reach out for external.
I see. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
I will
So,
discuss with my head later.
all right. Okay. Okay. So any of the support that you need, you can always reach out to Dr. Azri.
Okay.
All right. You know where you can find her, right?
I will try to email her first and then ask about this later about the research.
All right. Okay. Okay, Shamala, where do you come from? Which campus are you come from? All right. So the rest of you, if there is no question, right? If there is no question, okay. So like I say, right? Okay. From time to time, if you need any further assistance, right, you can always reach out to PJRC, okay, myself, and also you can reach out to Farah, who is actually on this training as well, okay. So she is the admin for PJRC at UG campus, okay. For those UG campus, you can reach out to her in case you need any assistance. All right. So if there is no further questions, so I think we can just end the session today. All right. Okay. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Dr. Jasmine.
Okay. Bye-bye.